I just started the stream. Alright. How many teams do we have here in the VC? You have one, two, three, four, five. I don't know if Magic is here. I think Magic was doing one.
How about just oh wait, you might already have this information. I was gonna say, why don't we just post our team names in general so you can
Yeah,
get a count?
yeah. I don't have team names. I have like people that said how many people they had on their team, but I don't have a full head count. Let me just.
Uh, I mean, I guess we can like on the Game Jam channel. We can
Yes,
put
please.
the name of the game that we made, and then the people part of the team.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do that.
John, I'll post on the socials
Okay.
the stream.
Awesome. Thank you.
I don't have all of the teammates here in the Discord, so I'm just gonna put our head count.
Don't count me. I wasn't in the jam.
Backman, you also had a team, right?
Yeah, Techmin was for the team.
Okay.
Are we putting them in the chat? What are those the team names?
I guess the name of the games that they made.
Okay.
Okay. So we got 5 so far. Let me see what's on the Jam site. Looks like we have 5 games. Okay. Then we can go ahead and begin. Uh, Mike, if you wanted to
Absolutely.
just share your screen with us, and then we will begin whenever you're ready.
All right. All right. Let me know when you can see my screen. Can you all see
We
my
can
screen?
see it. Yes, I can see it.
Okay, so we made our game in PowerPoint. No, I'm just kidding. So the name of our game is hypnagogia, which is a word that essentially means it's the span of time between being awake and falling asleep. The Let me just mention our teammates once again, real quick. So my name's Michael Main, also known as the True King of Space. I am the main programmer on the team. Um, we also had Roshan Maldonado, who's a good friend of ours, who did all of our character designs and artwork. We had Cameron Van Item, who did our music and sound effects. Jennifer Main, my wife, who's also a programmer and learning about Phaser JS, which is what we used for the program and for the game, was was helping me with programming and quality assurance. And also another good friend, Michael Flores, helped us with ideas and whatnot because he's a big gamer like the rest of us are. So the premise of the game is that you have 2 players, and in the finished version, there's actually not going to be any indication that there's actually another player. It'll basically be kind of like Dark Souls in that you like the other character might be played by an AI or it might be played by a another human player. But the whole idea is your character, who doesn't have a name at the moment, wakes up in a bed that's not his own, and he finds himself locked in this building. And basically, all he sees is a cat with a key around its neck. So he chases after the cat to get the key off his neck. So the cat is able to hide under furniture. It's able to go through holes in the wall that the human can't. It's eventually going to be able to sprint and use items and whatnot, but we didn't get to that part yet. But basically, when you catch the cat, you get the key, and then you find that you're unable to get the door open during the day for some reason. You fall asleep and you wake up in a nightmare, and in the nightmare, the roles are reversed. You're now the hunted, and basically, you're a mouse that's being chased by a ghost cat, which you can see in the second picture here. And then your goal is to get to the door alive with the key so that you can leave. If the cat kills you, you lose the item, and then you have to start over on the same day-night cycle again. If you get through, you wake up in a different bed the following day, and you do a different level. And it's going to be, I mean, eventually when we finish it, it's going to essentially be like if you die before a checkpoint, like if you get through 5 rooms, you get to a checkpoint. But if you die before that, you might have to start over. But the key to remember here is that in all these cases, the human player on the left that you see there in the day cycle is directly controlling the ghost cat in the night cycle with the movements of the human, and the movements of the cat in the day cycle are controlled by the player that's controlling the night cycle with the mouse. So let me, I'm going to show you the game now. So I've got it open in 2 browser windows, and I actually have some video footage that I had recorded from a match that me and someone else did. So let me talk a little bit about tech before I kick it off. So this game is written in Phaser.js, which is a web framework that runs on top of Canvas and Pixie.js. And it's basically just a game engine / graphics library. And it's a really fantastic one, very easy to use, and it can do both 2D and 3D. We used it for 2D. And then the communication between the 2 instances of the game, they communicate over WebSocket. We did not get to clean up our netcode, so our netcode is not super great. In fact, at the hotel, it was nearly unplayable because they have like pretty much dial-up internet there. So the way that we play it right now, since it's pretty much just a proof of concept, is we pass in, and this, like, if you guys want to try it on your own with your friends, and hopefully you don't crash it when you do, you pass in a query parameter like this with a session ID that you both agree on. So I'm just going to be using 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you pick the cycle that you want to play. So I'm going to have the one on the left here doing the day cycle, and the one on the right here doing the night cycle. Let me unmute the site so that you can actually hear the music that our team put a lot of effort into. Have a lot of sound effects and stuff that we didn't get to use yet too. All right. So anyway, here we are. So the human / monster can push certain objects around to allow him to trap the mouse. If the human touches the mouse, oh, too loud.
One second, Mike. I'm going to increase your volume.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
I'm not sure how I would lower the volume. For
No,
the...
I can do it on my end. I can balance the volume.
Okay, my bad. Nightmare. You hide under your table. You cast there are also holes in the wall that only you, as well as holes in the wall where you can hide. Ultimately, we're about to see what happens if the time's out. So basically, there's a timer on each level. Don't get out. Like if neither one meets the draw, and then you just basically start the day-night cycle. So the rats win condition, which is this little graphic. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Any questions or comments?
So it's trying to like figure out who the other player is.
So basically, the idea of, or like the whole story behind the game would essentially just be like you're trapped in this building and you're trying to get out, and then there would be stuff throughout the game that hints at the fact that you're controlling the monster. Like we would have it so that it flashes, like while you're playing as the human, it might flash over to the nightmare world and show that the cat, like that ghost cat, is moving where you were moving. Um, and essentially it's the duality theme fits in here with just the are you the hunted or the hunter, or when hunting monsters, try not to become one yourself, that sort of thing.
Okay.
And if I had to summarize our game in one sentence, I would call it asymmetric horror Bomberman.
What was the hardest part about it?
Believe it or not, the hardest part was just having the pushing of items and stuff working correctly. Because when you push the like basically when I wanted to push like the tables, I had to make sure that on the other side that the net code was picking up that table was being pushed. And for the longest time, I would just had this issue where I would keep moving through the table, and then eventually once I got it pushing, then it would do things like getting stuck in the wall, or I would get stuck in the furniture. There's still a bug in there where you can push the table on top of the mouse and it'll get trapped and then you can catch it. So we might just make that a feature, not sure yet. But yeah, just the that having that collision be translated over the WebSocket, that was the most challenging part.
I mean, it's really cool.
Thank you.
I like the concept.
Thank you very much.
So this was made without an engine or anything, just code.
It was made using Blazor.js, which, I mean, I guess more or less it'd be akin to using DirectX or using SDL or something. It's a basic like graphics library, and you can make whatever you want on top of it. But it's got like built-in physics engines and stuff.
Nice.
Awesome, guys. You did a good job.
Thank you.
Cool.
Now the rest of you make me feel completely inadequate.
Who wants to go next?
If no one else wants to go, I guess we can.
All right.
So while I'm getting the screen loaded up, my name's Kale. Myself, Josh, Saber, and Feather and Bacher, who may or may not be here, made this over the weekend, and we made what is essentially a Brick Breaker clone with narrative elements in it. Let me see, and I think this is the one we want. Alrighty, and I'm gonna give y'all the native build since it runs a little bit better than WebGL. So you can see here, while I'm playing this was built with Unity 3D Universal Render Pipeline. There's a target for WebGL and it runs. It's just not as smooth as the native version. And this game's called Heartbreakers. It's about kind of the disconnect between who we are, when we're dialed in playing video games, and sort of work-life balance stuff, and you have to deal with these interruptions while you're playing it, and these big text notifications. And I'm gonna go ahead and use a cheat code here, otherwise this is gonna take a minute. But that block goes by, and you flip to this sort of pseudo SMS screen that has a number of different conversations paths that you can choose responses to. And it's kind of like, how do you deal with the interruption? How do you deal with the duality of like who you are, over an SMS or like a digital message versus like how would you actually react to some of these situations if you were, having these conversations in person, right? So you get to select a response to each one, and then you go back and you play another game, Brick Breaker. And again, I'll use the cheat code here in a minute. Once some of these notifications pop up, they're on a timer here. And you get to choose your own adventure, basically. There's 3 levels right now. We built this on top of Inkly, which for anyone curious is basically a dialogue engine. It's open source, really nice, powerful tooling. So that's kind of the foundation of our narrative system. And then the Brick Breaker part is just a Brick Breaker clone, kinematic physics. So going forward, I think we've gotten all the notifications for this one, and I'll go ahead and hit W. And you get the guy who, of course, does like 9 text bubbles, instead of one single message, like a sane, non-psychopathic person. So you can see up here, this it has, is typing. You get to choose another response. So hey, do you want to trade shifts with this guy? If he asked you in person, maybe you'd say yes. But here, I want to go back to my game. No, don't want to do it. And it'll take us back here again.
I can relate.
Right. So the levels are generated from a text file, so just a CSV or comma separated value of a number 1 through 4, and then zeros for empty spaces. And the board right now is 15 wide, but we could theoretically stretch this to whatever we wanted to. When you die, the board resets, and the whole time you're getting these big text notifications that block the bricks you're supposed to be able to see. So a lot of times you'll be doing this, it'll get up in the back line, and you have no idea where it's going to come out because you've got this huge notification. So yeah, that's the heart of this game right now. Really, if we wanted to add more levels, it takes like 5 minutes per text file. It's nothing special. Yeah, and then if we go here, you can see I think we get 3 levels of text for each one, and there's a few different storylines as well. So if we were to go ahead and relaunch this again, we should get another one. So let's see, I'm just going to go ahead and wait for the first notification, hit W here. So our artist, Bacher, did the background and all of the 3D models here, as well as actually, I think the sound or the music we pulled off of opengameart.org, as well as all the sound effects, except for the quack, that was Saber specifically. So credit where credit's due, because that makes this for us. So here, it's Kevin again. I'll give it one more relaunch. Sometimes RNGesus is not on our side. But yeah, and I'll go ahead, and if you skip to the end and hit W, you get, okay, here's your partner. Another is, you'll get a text from your dad. And you get to choose these, and these are all on timers, so we can be degenerate. And yeah, so you get to go through these, and Brick Breaker, it'll play the same 3 levels. They're just on a list, nothing fancy there. But that is our game. And if you want to check it out, it's available on itch, free, obviously. And then I think it's also linked on our submission here. So I'm going to go ahead and do this and go ahead and stop our stream. So yeah, do y'all have any questions, comments, emotional outbursts?
Woo!
Sweet.
Outburst.
Good job.
There you go. Well, it was fun. Thank y'all for watching.
What was something you didn't expect to be so hard?
So Unity's physics system was letting the ball go out of bounds a lot, especially when the game was lagging. So when the scene was first loading and streaming in that background video, a lot of times the ball would phase through the corner of the arena, and we had to actually add a collider around the whole game and then do an on collision exit and reset it. Which you don't see on native. You might see it a little bit on the WebGL just because it has, it's not as performant.
Did you try changing the fixed time step in the project settings?
No, we didn't mess with the physics loop. So we did kinematic stuff, and for us, we just translated and then scaled by time.delta time. So we messed around with the fixed time step a little bit whenever we were doing like still simulated rigid bodies, and it didn't fix the problem, which sucks because it would have given us like an extra 4 hours to add some polish.
Did you also try changing the rigid body settings to when you had the rigid body to like continuous dynamic and all that?
Yeah. I think we probably went through about every option there before giving up and just doing kinematic simulation. Which, if you did the actual physics simulation, it was harder to do because you'd bounce off something and you'd lose speed. But Brick Breaker and Arkanoid, the ball has pretty much a constant speed after collisions, so we would have probably ended up in the same place.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Does anyone want to go next?
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go.
That's a loop.
Oh, give me a second.
Wild
Right.
true.
All right, give me 1 second. Where is it? Right here. Okay. So screen. Okay. Let me know if great.
Okay.
And I do have a question. Does the sound play? Or is there no sound on your end of the?
On stream?
No, not on the stream, but right now, like me sharing the screen, like is it? Like
I don't hear anything right now.
Anything?
I don't know how to. That's an issue that I have with Discord. I don't know how to.
I can hear it in the Discord stream. It sounds good.
You can hear the game on the Discord.
Oh, now I hear it. I had to turn up the stream volume.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet.
Oh, okay. So me and John kind of like we talked about like the theme, and kind of like the things that how to really interpret duality.
Let's
and
introduce who we are first.
oh, right.
Like, who's John and who's
I'm Eddie. My first name is Jose and last name Peregrino, but I go by Eddie, which is my middle name. And my partner is John Carbon.
yeah, Carbon 44444.
We came from the same school, and it was actually by chance that he got in the last minute when it comes to like the teams that we're making, and he told me that he was going to be helping me out with the game. Since I'm more versed or like I'm more used to being with blueprinting and all that kind of stuff, we decided to use Unreal Engine to create a 3D game, and Carbon did the 3D modeling when it comes.
I did most of the 3D modeling. I've had the asset started on Friday, I think, on when the game started. I believe I was streaming it on my channel, and then I think over the weekend I just took a bunch of them and just set it up. The music is from a buddy of mine, Jeffrey Kaiser. I gave him a call. He makes music on the side, so I asked him if I could just use one of his tracks and just implement it into the game, so I credited him.
Yeah. So Whiteout is pretty much a platforming game where gonna might as well kind of show it, where you have sort of a timer to reach to the end of the level, and the ways to get to the section or to continue through the match is like right now, like for example, the character is gonna be like here stuck, but there is a mode where you're able to switch between the light side and kind of like the dark mode. And this way you're constantly able to phase through different paths depending on the color of the texture of the wall. For example, right now, like you are able to pass through the white walls and all that kind of stuff because the character, is kind of like in that light mode, while when it's in dark mode, you're able to phase through the
black,
through the black ones. It's kind of like a little bit of a puzzle solving where you're gonna have to be timing correctly the modes that you're in, and one of the key aspects is like what most of the things or the hints to know how to progress and all that kind of stuff are only gonna be itself in dark mode. That's kind of like where we go with the duality, which is kind of like changing between one state and the other. It's almost like that whole thing of going to like into spirit mode that sometimes
like
shows
going into limbo.
Yeah,
essentially.
It's like you're going into these kind of like different reality to phase through different places, and when you're stuck, you're able to see which way, what's the best way to traverse to a different path. It's kind of like pretty much a self-explanatory the game, which is really just the platforming, puzzle solving, being a 2D side scroller. And yeah, we pretty much I decided to use blueprinting because haven't really gotten myself into programming.
But right now we're just gonna play through it, give you an idea of what the game.
Yeah, just gonna show like a playthrough, which would be the tutorial level. How you have to go like between the different modes to go through the level. One of the key aspects that I wanted to have is for example, being stuck right here, right? You have to like find kind of like the way, right? Kind of like missed out on a hint, and you're able to do like different stuff, like this, going through the whole level. When you get stuck, there's like different things that you can do. Almost kind of in a way, like kind of like cheese it in some aspects. But yeah, this is pretty much the essence of the game. I'm not sure what else I could be kind of like describing. Yeah, I got the one of the questions that John was asking was like kind of one of the things that were most difficult And for me at this moment was kind of like trying to implement um, at that mode where you're only able to set yourself in dark mode for like a specific amount of time, and you have to like constantly be switching between the two. For example, in this area specifically, right, where you have to be almost all the time in dark mode, you would have to like actually kind of time it, or you would risk losing all your progress, or pretty much disappearing from the game.
Yeah, if you don't finish the puzzle within the time the game ends.
Another key aspect that regretfully for me, like I didn't have enough time to like fully implement, is being able to pause things, kind of like freeze them in place, so you don't have to, or getting inside objects and kind of just boosting yourself through the objects. This is a part where you're just constantly changing, having to time your in which mode you're in. And yeah, that's pretty much the essence of like what out is. You can definitely do more levels, start implementing more ideas, but
Yeah,
almost
using that same concept.
yeah, almost the same concept, and definitely implementing that side of like having a timer on how long you can be on the dark side. But yeah, this is what we did for the game jam.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's really cool. I like
Awesome.
the concept.
You know what I actually really love about this game? I don't know if anyone else here is familiar with the game Ikaruga, but it made me think of that game because of the polar black and white switching.
I've never heard of that game.
Ikaruga, I have to look it up.
Yeah, that's a classic shooter game. Look it up. Similar concept.
What was some of your inspirations for the idea?
Shoot.
Well,
I didn't have any inspiration, to be honest with you.
All
Like
original.
I googled
No
I googled duality, and I was like, what does duality mean? And then I was like, oh, it's opposite. So let's just do black and white.
I was
What-
hoping you were
Or-
going to say that your inspiration was Betty White because that's the game.
When I was talking to Carbon, right, about it, and it was kind of bringing me to mind like that, like as I was explaining at first, like that whole thing of like going almost into spirit mode. I don't know if like you played for example Legend of Zelda, the Skyward Sword, how there's like these kind of like realm mode, and also Avatar, Last Airbender, how he goes into into the spirit realm and all that kind of stuff. If I had if there definitely was more time for like to changing aesthetically, that's pretty much where I would take it, where it's not just like everything going dark, but giving like a whole different tone from the environment.
Yeah, it reminds me of Link Between Worlds. It's pretty cool.
It's essentially what we did. I was like, what can we do for duality? And Eddie did most of the blueprinting, and I was like, okay, what we can do is we can have a button to where we switch textures back and forth, and that's essentially what he did. He just had everything switch back and forth with the press of a button, and then using unlit textures and stuff like that, and creating a very simple gameplay just by switching colors. So that's basically it. I didn't really have like a simple explanation on like what the story would be. I was more thinking about like scope. So my game dev hat kicked in. I'm like, what can we do in 3 days? So that's essentially what I was thinking.
I really like just when you phase through the ball and you jump up.
Yeah. That was a we found a bug prior to turning it in, so we had to like some last minute switches.
Yeah,
Actually,
I can't wait to see the speedrunning strats people come up with when they find out that they can launch themselves.
You already, yeah.
actually, it was
Round
it's like it's actually a mechanic, like I said, that I was actually gonna implement, where I had multiple balls kind of like going up and down, where you would have to like launch yourself, in kind of like a sequence. It was a little bit too buggy, regularly. But yes, I was actually gonna implement that.
What we could have done was like duplicate the level, and then that would be the speedrun portion. So now you have like
It's a bunch of balls around.
you cut the time in half. So now they have like less time to do it because that's essentially easy mode. We gave people 7 minutes so that they can figure out what to do. But
Yeah,
once you kind of know what to do, you can finish it less than that.
yeah, you can do a little bunch of speedrun things. I think the game. I think actually I kind of speedrun a little bit, and I think you can definitely kind of cut it to at least a minute to finish up the level. But like that's kind of like knowing the mechanics, how to use them, and all that kind of stuff.
Well, it looks good, guys. Good job.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. I believe we have 2 more people. Does anyone want to go next? See who we had. Game Jam. I think Miranda was next. Dar X-Men?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Did you want to present now?
Sure.
Okay.
I was trying to figure out something with my mic and stuff, but can't figure it out right now. So. Okay. Okay. So I worked on this game by myself. I was just using pretty much Unity and then a open source tool called Fungus, which is a storytelling kind of tool, but you can use it for a lot of other things. And honestly, I was having a hard time with the theme duality, and I kind of came up with something with a cookie game here. So they kind of point and click puzzle game. So we'll get started here. And basically you are in a competition, championships for cooking. And pretty much every time you play, you get one of 2 menu items that the judges would want you to cook. So the judges want you to try to cook a red velvet for the show. And basically you have like all your ingredients out here, pretty much where you can get it. You have your different areas where you can combine different items, where you can present your stuff. So you just have to pretty much click on your item that you want to cook. And I'm not sure how I did it, but in the end there's at least 10 different ending combinations that you can do. So we'll just do what they want with which is the red velvet. And it does require you to actually know kind of a bit how to cook in real life. And some of this is based on real world foods and everything. For pretty much the items I mixed, will no longer show here, but they'll go to the right area. So we have like the batter, we'll click the stove to cook it. And then we can also go to the plate, and there's your item right here. So we can present it to the judges. And pretty much the judges will just talk about your food, what they think it is. And this is just one of the, I guess, good endings you could say. You made the item, but they're missing something. So they'll give you like a little score based on what they think. And depending on your score will determine what place you are, so this time around you get second place. Let me quickly show you all another quick thing. Let's see. The downside of just having two options is they like picking the same item over and over. So I'm just going to grab these items and mix them up, which is now just a boiled mess. And I'm going to give that to the judges, which is nothing what they wanted at all. And pretty much every item you show them, they do have their own comments, which some of them are slightly different, but they all pretty much have like the same aspect. Yeah, and just giving them like just horrible food pretty much disqualifies you, and you're just basically just thrown out of competition. But like I said, there's at least 10 different combinations you can do, and there's only 2 recipes that will give you like the perfect score. So you have to kind of think outside the box, and for like the theme, if anyone has ever watched like cooking shows and stuff, is they actually have where they would make foods look like one thing but taste completely different. So say someone made like cake, but it looks like a savory item, or you have some savory item but it looks like something sweet. And that's basically the concept of the game, is like if you want that perfect score, you need to get those opposites together. So like if they wanted like the red velvet, you had to make like something savory but make it look like a red velvet to give them that wow factor.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much it. It's pretty straightforward, the game.
What was
I like it.
what was difficult about this?
The only thing that was really difficult was the when just trying to set everything up, because sometimes the buttons just decided they didn't want to work properly. So I don't even know why. Normally it fixed itself once I deleted it and re-added the item back. But luckily everything now works.
I wanted to say I really liked I loved the presentation of this, and my wife wanted to know where you got the music from.
The music, I actually got it right over here. This person, Lobo Loco. This is one of his songs that is open to the public, and I actually have like a link to the song. The name's right here on the Game Jam site, So it's like, if you wanted to check it out, his songs are over there too.
So when's the VR update coming out?
uh,
And
Probably never.
When does the surprise twist with the existential horror happen?
I mean, I just showed you guys a horrible looking meal, so I'm pretty sure that's pretty horror already.
Yeah. I like
That's
all
also
the
got
options.
prices on a plate.
I mean, one of the judges commented saying they thought it moved, so.
Yeah, this looks really great.
Any more questions or anything? Okay, I'll go ahead and close my live stream here.
Alright. And, Tacnet. Did you want to go?
We might as well. Okay. Give me one sec. Okay, so our game was Hillside Horrors. So initially we had some grand ideas about like nature and like robots and duality and like I don't know, the ethics of science and stuff like that. So we had like a story about a scientist and all that. But unfortunately, once we started developing, this is our first game, by the way, so we couldn't end up doing a lot of that. So we came up with just like a little game where you and your farmer village fight swamp monsters. Yeah, so basically it's kind of like a Plants vs. Zombie stuff. There's an options menu. You can't really do anything. The X button works. And then there is music. It should play whenever I hit start. Okay, so here's where you can like choose what creature you want to send out to defend, or what animal. So there are like buffs for which creature you choose. Like the pig does more damage against the smaller ones. You can see it's been kind of glitchy already. We didn't actually anticipate to present, but we decided to rush ahead and just try to get something done. So let me just spawn a bunch real quick because they're frozen. We do have like side scrolling because we were gonna add like a little village where you could do like upgrades and stuff. So tada, you win. Obviously the little characters are pretty much rip-offs of Stardew because we were having trouble with design, so we just wanted to get something out of the way. But it was a really good learning experience, and show you what happens when you don't do anything and you lose. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nice.
It was a good learning experience for sure.
Is it just me, or is that UI kind of the exact same as the Brachy's tutorial?
Oh, I think it's a coincidence for sure. No, yeah, it is. No, for sure. But I tried. I think it was just that the Stardew. I think that was it as far as like what we like reuse from online. There was no like reuse code or anything like that because we were trying to learn together and stuff like that. So yeah, that's it. Do you have anything to add, Tibo?
Do the smaller monsters like do less damage?
So we're gonna have like a bunch of different cards with like different ones that have different damages, like to different types, and you kind of had to like figure out what it was. But we didn't get around to creating different monsters. But yeah, the smaller ones take more damage from the pigs. I'm not really sure why, but they do. And then so it's better to send like people in rows that have more of the bigger monsters, and then the pigs for the ones that have the smaller ones.
Maybe they're tastier.
Yeah, exactly. No, I have no idea, but just try to add some variety to the gameplay last minute. So, yep.
Good job.
See, did John ask already what the hardest parts of the making it was?
I would say honestly, a lot of ideas. Like you have these not even necessarily big ideas, but then once you actually like start making it, you don't realize that like, oh God, when I do this, I need to do that, or this means I have to do that, and then like little unexpected things like when they randomly spawn, like trying to like sometimes I might randomly spawn in the same place, and then like you saw what happened where they like glitch and collide with each other or something like that. Stuff like that happens. That's really hard to like debug. So yeah. Anything you want to add, Tiba, or no?
No, I don't really have anything to add. But yeah, this was our first game and it was a lot of fun and we learned a lot.
You can always say that the ones that got stuck, they just froze in fear from seeing the pigs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a feature, not a bug.
There's never bugs, it's always features.
Exactly. Unless it crashes, it's a feature.
It's the quick method to get out of the game.
I mean, I had similar fears. Like I was sitting there thinking, "Oh God, please don't have the server for the WebSockets crash," because then I'd have to like log into my server, restart it, and have you all watch me enter my password.
It's okay, I don't have photographic memory. Oh,
All you need is the screenshot.
I might have missed it. Did you guys go with the duality theme for the Global Game Jam? I'm not sure. I also had trouble trying to picture if I was making a game, like what I'd do, so I understand.
We can I think let's all just restate how we work duality in, just so that everyone is on the same page. On ours was basically this hunting and being hunted thing, where basically one moment you're the monster and one moment you're the prey. Did anyone else want to restate their did anyone else want to restate their duality theme? Are you guys still there?
Hello.
I mean, I remember them. I know that for the one that was like the brick breaker type of game, that one was like the work-life balance type of thing, where it kept on popping up text messages and stuff while you're trying to play a game. The whiteout was literally switching between light and dark, which was super cool. I might have missed what it was on the cooking one. And yeah.
The cooking is more of like making one thing and then having it be completely different. Like you're trying to make something that they want, like something sweet, but you make something that looks completely different but is still like sweet. So you made something that's sweet but it looks like a savory item, so it's kind of like the opposite kind of what the items should be. At least that's what I kind of understood what the theme was.
Oh, interesting. So it'd be like having a cake that tastes like steak. Cake steak. Or steak cake.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, it was cute.
Bacon donuts?
Well, me and the judges will step into another call, and then we'll be right back.
I
So we have the results of the 2022 Global Game Jam for San Antonio, Texas. And in fifth place, we have Hillside Horror. In fourth place, we have Global Master Cut. And in third place, we have Heartbreakers. And second place, we have Whiteout. And in first place, we have Hypnagogia.
Oh wow, thank you. I just want to say, like, everything you guys had was amazing. Like that, me and my wife were watching the whole thing. And we loved every single thing you guys did. Good job, guys.
Hey, congratulations, and I feel like everybody did like an amazing job too for the time that we had. I feel like I guess the best part was like how complete almost every game felt, you know. So yeah, like definitely claps for everybody in here.
Yeah, you guys did great, all of you.
And by the way, the person that made Whiteout, please finish that game. I want to play it.
I'll see what I can do with it.
Maybe a
And
different
please,
player model.
and please put some sweet speedrunning strats in there so I can take it to TDQ or something.
No promises, but definitely.
Oh,
I thought I was muted.
well, you did great, Hypnagogia. We have prizes for your team, and we will be sending those out soon.
Cool.
And for everyone, make sure you upload a photo or something for your thumbnail in the Global Game Jam. I'm gonna try and share the stuff on social media as of now.
You guys did
Alright.
really great. This was a great game jam. It's a really good turnout.
So when's the next one? Are there any on the radar?
We will be planning some soon. We'll let everyone know in the announcements.
Alright, I'll keep my eyes peeled then.
Yeah, no, thank you guys. It was my first game jam, so it was great. It was a lot of fun. I'll be seeing you probably guys in the next game jam.
Thanks, guys. My first time ever doing anything like this. First time doing Unity, and my team's much more competent than I am. But I'm really, really happy with it. I'm really happy with how supportive this group is. So congrats, everyone.
Y'all did so good.
I hope I see everyone at the next one, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Only I was old enough.
Thanks, y'all. I feel like the next one we should definitely not have a age limit. I don't know why they both want that one.
Yeah.
Alright, folks. Well, I'm gonna have some celebratory sushi. I will talk to you guys later.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of. I'm playing New World right now. I'm in the middle of a war.
Everyone.
I'm in the middle of making a game for a game jam right now.
Alright, see y'all.
Catch you guys later.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be in my Discord, John. If you wanna join?
Alright. Alright, thanks everyone for watching. This was a great event. And you will catch us on the next one, whenever our next big event is. Hopefully we'll have social events soon. But stay safe out there. And good night. Bye-bye.